First, 90% of what I said in my last speech can be found in the card text whose citations were listed below. Now the majority is line by line. I've uploaded my speech document to the YouTube link if it's really that big of an issue. My argument boils down to if we shouldn't do it to humans, we shouldn't do it to dolphins because it's morally wrong. Valuing humans over non-human animals is specism, and that's a kind of discrimination required to say that dolphins are not like us, and is used to say that other races and genders are not like us. This mindset is used to justify things like genocide. The UN banning this would be an example of what kind of change is needed, but talking about it as a form of microresistance that is the best way for a conceptual revolution to remain open based on the fact that power is capillary and can extend into debate spaces like this. He says it may seem inhumane, but he didn't explain how it wasn't inhumane anywhere, or how it's okay to not treat some species with dignity in certain instances, or address how we should choose which arbitrary characteristics we can use to discriminate. On his economic arguments, I want to group them. He's misunderstanding how power operates. The Haber card says seizure of transformation of economic power is not sufficient to dismantle or transform modern power regime. Political struggles are not merely over who gets economic power, but are more accurately depicted as struggles over the real ways in which power operates. So power is capillary, and letting a country have more money will not change how it acts ethically. In-round discourse is able to solve over specism, and he's irresponsibly deploying a decision-making calculus that is socially regressive because it inevitably postpones ethical decisions for economic ones. This constant refrain is the same one used by politicians when it concerns issues of slavery as well as gender discrimination in the workplace, because both of those things are economically beneficial, but we don't do them because they're wrong. He says we don't exploit them, we only eat some of them. How is only eating and torturing some of them not exploiting them? On the sentience article, the article talks about not exploiting animals by using them for our benefit. Dolphins can still help us. What he says is akin to saying that ethnic and socioeconomic minorities can help us when we perform medical experiments on them. We should do things that help the collective benefit, or at least don't hurt the other them. The us he's referring to shows the us-them dichotomy is already in place. So on racism stuff, if his response to racism bad is labor is necessary for countries to thrive, that's a short jump to slavery good, which I hope isn't the argument he's going for, but it's probably not something that we should endorse. He says that dolphinariums make a lot of money, but they're equivalent to prisons, and we hold individuals there that aren't like us. The only difference is that the dolphins are being held solely based on their species without having committing any wrongdoing. And he says taking of lives isn't ideal, but dolphin meat is cheap. Well, because of overpopulation, human meat is probably pretty cheap, but it's unethical. He has yet to justify why some species can be treated like this and others can remain sacred. A view not being generally accepted is not sufficient to prove it false. He says that we only kill 100, but killing one would be ethically wrong, so let's just not do it. His biggest impact coming out of his speech is economic, and since economic cycling is inevitable, it's functionally non-unique. We must act ethically or continue to face mass slaughter based on arbitrary characteristics like species or race. Conceded arguments in the debate is generally accepted that if an argument goes unanswered, it was conceded. He didn't respond to Taiji dolphin hunt is anthropocentric. Anthropocentrism is bad morally and causes other forms of discrimination, and talking about it solves, which is the Haber 94 card. Because power is capillary and extends into instances like this debate space, these levels of microresistance can solve, meaning that he concedes in-round solvency. The card is politicizing everyday life and keeps conceptual revolutions an open possibility. And since I indicated the ballot as a key transformative device, you can sign yours now.